Today, I'm going to show you all of my family's favorite Instant Pot recipes. Stick around to see what they are.
It's like a warm hug inside of my body.
This might be the coolest thing we've made in the Instant Pot.
It's very bright and colorful.
I like it a lot.
Annie's writing down her review. She's taking it very seriously today. Welcome to, or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness, including my own recipes, some of which you'll see today, as well as informational videos, some fun stuff we do with the kids.
I'm hijacking your channel!
And recipe reviews. This is a compilation of some of our favorite Instant Pot recipes, some of which are our own, and some are from cookbooks that we've reviewed over the last little bit, including Plant-Based Deliciousness, Vegan Instant Pot, and the Vegan Slow Cooker. The recipes range from breakfasts to lunches, dinners, and even desserts. And if you don't have an Instant Pot yet, but you've been thinking about getting one, check out my creator cart down below where we've got links to some, as well as the cookbooks that we're referencing in this video. Before we jump into the recipes, I would love to give a shout out to some of the people who are in our community. Sharon from Palm Bay, Florida, Kathy from Oklahoma, Cindy L from Liverpool, New York, March from Austria. I hope I said your name correctly, M-A-R-T-C-H. March? March? Let me know. Lori from Salem, Oregon, Brian from St. Augustine, Florida, Sherry from Nipissing, Ellen from North Bay, New York, Jackie from the Caribbean, or the Caribbean, depending on who you are and how you like to say that, and Nancy from Colorado. If you would like a shout out, one way to do that is to say hello in the comments down below. Let us know who you are and where you're watching from. But the best way to do it is to join us over in our members community on the Mighty Network. Not only do you get priority to the top of the list for the shoutouts, but you get so many more things. You get early access to videos like this, members-only live streams at least once a month. But the best thing of all is just being part of the conversations and the chats that go on over there. And it's all for the low, low price of a bad cup of coffee a month. Seriously, that's how low it is. Good coffee is way more expensive and not nearly as fun. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and if you're enjoying this video, hit that like button to let YouTube know to send it to other people. Now to our Instant Pot compilation.
I'm gonna make this 3-grain slow cooker porridge. Normally we just have like regular oatmeal with just oats, but what this one is a combination of steel-cut oats, buckwheat groats, and amaranth. And I've never made porridge with all of these ingredients before. And then basically it's just putting those together with some water and I think a little bit of salt, cinnamon calls for, and then cook them overnight in the Instant Pot. It's super liquidy, but as I stir it, it's getting thicker. It's definitely a little bit of it's burnt at the bottom. And to be fair, I did this in a pressure cooker as opposed to a slow cooker, which I don't have. But it's getting there. Annie! Sore.
Very sore.
That's a nice base. So we're gonna flavor these up.
Banana too hard. Sort of got weird flavor.
Yeah, it's a slightly different flavor, but I added some maple syrup and some peanut butter. So you're not sure how you feel about it?
Uh-huh. I don't like it.
No?
Sorry.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's good. Very nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat that.
Annie said it tastes like baking soda.
Okay. Not sure why. It tastes really good.
So I quite like this. It definitely has a bit of a, I don't know, it's like a bitterer flavor. Bitterer, is that a word? That I can see why the kids don't love as much, although I put maple syrup in that thing. I like this as an alternative to oatmeal, and I got a big pot of it if no one else eats it, so that's a good thing. So give it a shot. The grains are definitely different. It takes some getting used to. It's not quite the same as oatmeal, slightly different flavor, and a different texture too, which is kind of nice. So if you're looking for something to switch it up with your oatmeal on a regular basis, maybe this is the new recipe for you. And it's like regular oatmeal. You can customize it and put whatever you want into it. I've loaded mine up with fruit and put some hemp seed on and stuff.
One of my go-to plant-based staples is making soup or stew from scratch, and it's not as hard as you would think. And what's really great about it is that you can use up vegetables in your fridge that are maybe getting close to their expiry date. And you could also just use up any beans, any flavorings. It really is a choose your own stew. I always start with a little bit of onion, so I've already been sauteing that inside the pan. Now we're gonna add our liquid. So I've just got some vegetable broth, a can of diced tomatoes. We're gonna put the whole thing in, liquid and all. Put a cup of tomato sauce, quarter cup of apple cider vinegar. That's gonna add a nice little salt to the dish. A little balsamic vinegar in there. And now I'm gonna put a little bit of maple syrup in here, and what that's gonna do is that's just gonna help the acidity from all the tomatoes in there and just kind of round out the flavors of the dish. And then we're gonna add some kind of a plant-based protein. Here I have a whole bunch of kidney beans and chickpeas. There's about 2 or 3 cups cooked in there. And then you wanna add about 6 cups of vegetables. Do a mixture of starchy, non-starchy. For my starch, I'm just using frozen butternut squash. I got some mushrooms. And then I just have a bunch of other things. I think there's some carrots, some zucchini, and some yellow peppers in there. So this thing is overflowing. We're gonna stir that all around. And we're also gonna add now some more seasonings. Here I have about 3 to 4 teaspoons of different seasonings. I've got garlic salt, rosemary, sage in there, and I'm gonna add salt and pepper to taste. So I'm doing this in an Instant Pot. I'm going to cook it for 15 minutes on manual. If you're doing this on the stove pot, bring it to a boil and leave it for about 40 to 45 minutes. Just keep on letting it cook until the vegetables have softened enough to your liking. So we cooked this for 15 minutes in the pressure cooker. And now we just wanna add, oh, look at that steam. Now we're gonna add our kale. Again, you can use spinach if you want. We'll mix it around. And I just wanna give it a few minutes for that just to soften inside of there. And then this delicious stew will be ready to consume. Oh, that smell is so inviting. And again, we just made this with what was left in the fridge. You could make a different soup every single week, just using whatever you've got. It is so comforting. Trying to get that perfect bite with a little bit of everything. It's like a warm hug inside of my body. It's rich and hearty and earthy from all those different vegetables and that butternut squash. The beans just kind of melt in your mouth. If you don't like stew, we can't be friends. You guys want some soup? So I'm gonna make this mashed potato edamame burrito filling. First thing I'm gonna do is swap out the edamame with some black beans or some kidney beans, just because I know my kids don't like edamame that much. So, and just to make it a bit more Mexican-esque, I think that's what I'll do. This seems pretty simple. It's gonna be basically like a mashed potato taco bowl. I'll probably add some cheese for the kids to throw on top. I'm not gonna throw these into burritos unless my kids are crazy and they wanna try that. That just seems like putting a hat on a hat in terms of putting carbs inside of carbs inside of carbs. This is super simple. Basically, we just chop up some potatoes, mix it with water and salsa, and throw it into the slow cooker. And then at the end, we just cut up some other vegetables and throw them in, like peppers and corn. You also probably noticed that I didn't peel my potatoes. You know why? Potatoes have lots of nutrients in the skin, so I want to eat those nutrients. Also, I just didn't feel like it because peeling potatoes is a lot of work. So extra work plus less nutrients, that's just bad math. Oh, that's really nice. Because the salsa, I think I use medium salsa, it's got a little kick to it. I mean, that's already so amazing. Now I'm gonna top it with whatever I want. I've got some vegan cheese here, some red cabbage, a little bit of avocado, and some olives. If my family doesn't like this, that's okay, because I'm gonna eat the whole damn thing myself. Yeah, so you take some of the mashed potato mix, and then you just load her up with whatever you want.
It's very bright and colorful. Oh gosh. It's really good. I didn't think I would like it. And I do. It's kind of creamy Mexican.
I like it a lot.
Yeah?
Tastes like a burrito. I would have that inside of it.
And Annie, you don't like it? Annie opted out. She's gonna make her own dinner. I'm gonna make Dr. Gregor's BROL. That stands for barley, rye, oats, and lentils. It's a mixture he uses that you can use for breakfast, actually, as a replacement for things like oatmeal. Or you can use it as like a base for a grain bowl as well. So what I'm gonna do is make this tonight and tomorrow morning. I'm gonna make breakfast with it. I'm gonna make, he has like a recipe in here for like a Black Forest chocolatey kind of thing. And what's great about this is it makes a huge batch of it, and then you can separate it into like half a cup or cup sizes that you can then freeze. And then what I do is the night before I'm gonna have it for breakfast or a meal, I'll just take out that little chunk that I've frozen and use it. I don't need to do that tonight because the one I'm gonna cook and keep, I'm gonna eat in the morning. So my little BROL mixture has been sitting in the fridge. I'm gonna warm it up for like 30 seconds in the microwave and then add all the other things that need to be added. This is like a really easy thing you can just swap out for oatmeal, so you can kind of mix whatever you want. I'm likely to add a few more things that are in the recipe, so if you see things on the screen that you don't see on the list, that's why. I'm adding like bananas, maybe some dried fruit as well, some hemp seeds on top. So as you can hear in the background, Rufus is having his breakfast, so I'm gonna have mine. So I'm gonna try to just get a bite of a little bit of everything, but not include the stuff I added. It's really nice. It's very chewy. So if you don't like texture, it might not be for you. And you can add a little bit more sweetener, like molasses or date syrup, maple syrup if you need, to your liking. But this makes it super chocolatey and delicious. Like I said, you can add other fruit. I really, really, really like it. It does have like a slightly bitter taste to it, but if you're accustomed to that, then you're probably fine. I like this a lot. If my wife could eat it, she'd like it too. It's the BROL, Willie.
The BROL in the bowl.
It's the BROL in the bowl. Oh, I like that. BROL in the bowl.
The bowl BROL.
She can't eat it
Bowl.
because she's gluten-free and it's got barley and rye. But if you don't have a gluten sensitivity, have at her. Tonight for dinner, we're gonna make vegetable lasagna with basil ricotta. We make lasagna. We make a mean lasagna in this house, but I've never made one in the Instant Pot, so I am super fascinated. I had to get this special little guy. It's a 7-inch springform pan, because this is probably the biggest size that'll fit inside the Instant Pot. It looks big here. It's not. It's like the size of my head. So, like the instructions say, it only serves 4. So no leftovers for this meal. If you're curious about this, I will put a link down below to where you can get it on Amazon. And if you use that link, it helps out the channel as well. So, you know, consider that if you're looking to buy one of these for yourself. So it's similar to most lasagnas. So I'm gonna make a basil ricotta using tofu, which if you've watched the channel, you've seen me make a tofu ricotta before. So when it comes to the tofu ricotta, one trick is that you could press the tofu before, but if you forgot to do that, like I did, you can just take some paper towels, or we've got these reusable napkins that my wife has made, and just blot it a little bit just to pull out some of the excess liquid. It'll just help with the texture. If you don't do it, it's not gonna kill you. It'll just be a little looser and runnier. The only thing I'm gonna be shifting for her recipe is just omitting the oil. Otherwise, I'm gonna be doing it pretty much as is. So yeah, so I'm gonna start off by making the basil ricotta in my food processor. And then you make the vegetable filling inside the Instant Pot. And you give it a little wipe down afterwards. And then otherwise, you just build everything inside this springform pan. And then you cook it. And the noodles we're using are these Catelli brand, which are gluten-free. And they're no bake as well. So it should bake inside of this. We've had luck with these ones. I really like them. So because we're doing this in the Instant Pot, what we need to do is we need to dilute the tomato sauce because it's gonna help the noodles cook. because they're not pre-cooked. So what she recommends is taking a cup and a half of tomato sauce and adding a half cup of water to it. I have vegan mozzarella I'm gonna use, which is Daya, which is the one that we tend to like these days. Let's see how this goes. I mean, we're a family that likes lasagna, so I can't imagine we're not gonna enjoy the flavors. I'm just more curious how the Instant Pot handles this. It looks interesting, like she's, you know, because it's a weird circle shape, she's basically saying break up the noodles and just kind of build it like a mosaic on top just to cover the space so they don't overlap. Huzzah! Whoops. Sorry, I bumped it there. You probably didn't get a good view, but I put it in. It was tricky. Now we cook it for 20 minutes and we let the pressure naturally release, which I don't know how long this will take. I'll let you know. I'd say it took about 10 minutes to come up to pressure, maybe a little bit less. And it looks like it took 14 minutes to, for the natural pressure to release. So it's about 45 minutes of cooking time-ish already. Now we're gonna crank it open and see what happens. I'm nervous and scared and all the things. I feel like it's gonna slip. Ow. Oh wow, that looks pretty. I'm gonna make a mess here. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Okay. Ah! Ooh. So now we're gonna top it with some Daya cheese and we're gonna broil it.
Ta-da!
This might be the coolest thing we've made in the Instant Pot.
It's really delicious. I give it 2 thumbs up. And it was made in an Instant Pot, which is super cool. I like it. Got a lot of flavor. Very lemony. The ricotta, the tofu is very lemony. It's got really nice flavor, nice textures. It looked really watery, but it doesn't taste watery.
Annie, you over there destroying it to get the mushrooms out?
No, to get the cheese mixed up.
Here Annie goes, a deconstructed lasagna.
Mmm.
Annie's already excited. You ready to talk, Annie? No.
It's really good lasagna.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
It just tastes like a normal lasagna.
So this is a good one for kids?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It like melts in your mouth. That's delicious. Yeah, that's up there with the best of the lasagna we've made at home ourselves. Like a baby bird.
I liked it. Tastes good. Flavors are really good.
Was that yours, Mom?
The vegan cheese doesn't taste too vegan cheesy.
Delicious. Flavors are on point. I think this is best for somebody if you are either a couple or you live by yourself and you don't want to make a giant full lasagna. Because the amount of effort this takes is about the same as a regular lasagna. So you just don't get the leftovers you would normally get, which makes all that extra work worth it. I would take this recipe and do it in the lasagna pan and double it. But it's perfect for people that are living on their own or just a couple that you want to have like one set of leftovers for. I'm gonna make a fruit cobbler for dessert in the slow cooker. This is normally something we just make really quickly, but since we're trying out a slow cooker recipe, why not? I'm using Instant Pot for my slow cooker for all of these recipes. I don't use that setting a lot, so I don't know if it runs really hot, really cold. So I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle with it, assuming that will work out just fine. Let's do it. So this recipe, I'm gonna pretty much follow along what it asked me to do. I don't have any fresh lemons, unfortunately. I'm going to the grocery store in a few minutes, but I don't want to do this later because it might not have enough time to cook. So I won't have the fresh lemon zest to put in, and I'll be using bottled lemon juice, which is not my ideal. So the instructions, I realized, just said to just core and peel the apples. They didn't say anything about cutting them up. That seems like a mistake. Also, I didn't peel them because I like the skin on. It's got some nutrients in there. It's good for you. Some people don't like warm fruit. I feel sad for those people. Do you not like warm fruit? Let me know in the comments below
if you're like a warm fruit person or not. Some people don't like pies. My people are pie people. Are you my people?
Much later.
So the berries and things have been in the Instant Pot now for 7.5 hours. I don't want to check them yet, but we'll check them in a second because I'm gonna make the biscuit, the topping. And we're gonna make it gluten-free, so we're gonna use a combination of gluten-free flour. It says oat bran, which I don't have, so I think I'm just gonna use rolled oats because I think it'll give us some texture. I think that'll be fine. And for the sugar, I'm gonna use maple syrup, and instead of olive oil, we're gonna use applesauce. And because I didn't have the lemon zest earlier to put into the berry mixture, I'm gonna put some in the biscuit. I think that'd be nice. I think I fucked up. I think I was supposed to add more of like a ground up oats to this. She's the one that said I fucked up.
I did not say that.
She said it in a loving way. It was,
At least now I'm on camera, I can continue grading.
keep grading. Oh, she was worried about the sound. This is the woman who, oh my God.
What?
This is
Excuse me?
This is a person.
I'm a person. This is true.
This is a person.
I am a woman also. I don't know why that was so bad.
I don't know why. It just had, I felt like it was really
I think
aggressive.
it's just the way you said it.
It was. I didn't like it. I was really upset with myself. Anyway, this is a person who understands video production. That she's like, the sound has to have context, like the sink right now.
Woo!
This is what you get when you watch this channel. So I just don't want to keep on adding flour to this thing and making it doughy. I think I'm just gonna put it in plops on top, which is kind of how you would do a fruit grunt, or a fruit slump, and then cook it inside the rest. So we'll see. This could not work out well. It's gonna taste okay though, so we'll see. All right, let's see how this looks in here. Looks the same as when I put it in this morning.
How are they still crunchy? It's been in for 7 hours.
I mean, they're not. They're kind of tough.
7 hours! And they're still crunchy. It tastes good. It tastes good.
So I'm just gonna. It says now to crank up the slow cooker to high.
I could have made this in like half an hour.
I know, that's the problem with this recipe, is even if it tastes good, it's like, this is something we can do in the stovetop or in the Instant Pot.
Why would you do this?
It sounds like they needed a dessert
Well,
recipe.
It tastes really good. So maybe that's why you do it.
Yeah, because the flavors soak in.
Yeah.
This is not the way I'm supposed to do it. I'm sure it's just to roll it out, but look at this. No one's rolling that out. It's also I don't even know how to do this. Oh, I know what to do.
He knows what to do.
Gotta find the tool.
Like it is.
Huh? Bloop. Even if this is too raw and a little weird inside, it's vegan. So no one's gonna get sick. This is like a pretty watery, goopy mix, which means that it didn't get thick. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I got ice cream. I don't really think it's gonna go well with the ice cream. Yeah. From a technical point of view, this is definitely a failure. Maybe it tastes good.
It's really good. It's quite sweet.
I like the ice cream.
The dough has a really nice lemon. Does it have lemon in it?
Yeah, I added that.
Yeah,
The dough needs to be sweeter.
I like the dough because the fruit is very sweet. Same reason.
How does the dough work? Because I wasn't sure it was gonna work.
It's so good. I really like this dessert. It's weird that it took all day to make. I find that very strange. But it's tasty. I like it.
Oh, really good.
He thinks it's really good.
It's different than what I was expecting. The dough is soft. That said, there's no reason you couldn't make a dessert like this in half an hour. Grocery stores are full of fake plant-based deli meats, but let me show you how to make one on your own that comes together quickly, freezes well, and saves you a ton of money. The magic ingredient you need for this is Vital Wheat Gluten. This is what's gonna give it the right texture and binding agent. So we're gonna put 1.5 cups of Vital Wheat Gluten into a food processor. We're gonna crumble in 1 package of firm tofu that's been drained. You can just break it up with your hands. It doesn't have to be pretty because the food processor is gonna do all of the work for you. Bloop! Just a giant mountain of crumbled tofu.
So this is the base of what we're gonna do, and now it's just about flavoring it. So I'm making what I would call like a turkey deli meat flavor. So I'm gonna pop in a tablespoon of water, a tablespoon of miso paste, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of liquid smoke, 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and then a half a teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of sage, teaspoon of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of no salt seasoning. This thing is packed with flavor. I'm so excited. So now we're gonna get this lid on top of here, and we're just gonna let this thing fire up. You're gonna let it continue to mix until it forms a giant ball inside of there. So this formed a little differently than it normally does, but we're gonna make this work anyway. So all we're gonna do now is just form it by hand. So you just wanna get it into the shape of basically a log. You could also form this into sausages or any other shape you want, and you just kind of roll it into the right shape. And it doesn't have to be a perfect log because we're gonna wrap this in aluminum foil. Give it a loose roll because it's gonna expand a bit inside the aluminum foil. And then we're just gonna twist the ends. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna place this inside of my pressure cooker with a cup of water inside this trivet, and I'm gonna let it steam for 1 hour. So after it steams for an hour, you wanna just gently release the tin foil because the steam is gonna start to come up. So now we're gonna let this cool down before we slice it. It's gonna form a little bit of a skin around the edges as it cools, but that's what you want because that's similar to deli meat. It's even got some of the little speckles inside of it. I really love how this turns out. What's beautiful about this is that it lasts for at least a week or 2 inside the fridge, but it freezes beautifully. So you can make a really big loaf and it'll last you for a long time. But how does it taste? For me, this rivals any plant-based deli meat that I bought in a grocery store or even had in a restaurant. But it's even better when you put a little bit of really good mustard on top of it. Save yourself some money and make this yourself. It's so easy. This is great inside of a sandwich. Tonight for dinner, we're making West African peanut stew. So mostly you and your water.
I gotta clean the thing.
You gotta clean, but it makes it hard for the people to hear.
Life goes on, man. It doesn't just stop because you're making a video.
What? Okay, so you cook up the onion and the garlic and the ginger first in the Instant Pot, and then you throw everything else in. And this seems, except for the greens and your cilantro and stuff you put on top, most of it goes in. And then it says you cook it only for like 5 minutes, but it'll take a while to come up to temperature. So if you're new to the Instant Pot, don't get screwed up by that 5-minute thing because it's not really that helpful. Probably takes about 10 minutes for it to come up to temperature, if not longer. So take that. And at the end, you throw in your greens. We're using spinach. No, kale. We got kale, right?
We got so much kale.
We got the biggest.
From the Kitchener Market.
We got the biggest head of
Best
kale.
market, right? Kitchener Market.
Love it. If you live
Prop to the Kitchener Market.
If you live in southwestern Ontario, Kitchener Market's where it's at. Okay, and then we got some cilantro too from there, so we're gonna add that on top. So I'm an idiot, and I didn't put in the chickpeas. Are you snorting at me? Okay. Is there a reason for that? Okay. So I'm gonna put them in now, even though the soup's already cooked. They're just gonna be a bit firmer than they probably should be, but that might be a nice thing in this soup. They might have soaked with the flavor a bit more. Everyone does the sink when I'm talking. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this out. People can top it with some more lemon, a little spritz more lemon if they want, some cilantro, and some roasted peanuts. Let's see what everyone thinks.
Pretty good.
Yeah? What do you like?
Like the flavor is kind of salty. Texture is good. You don't need rice on this.
No?
Maybe if you're like not completely vegan, maybe some yogurt.
Wait, or you can put vegan yogurt in.
Yeah.
It's so good. I will definitely ask you to make this again. And I really wish I could take it with me to school, but we haven't known that policy in school.
Oh, instantly. As soon as it hit my tongue, I fell in love. Oh my goodness. This is crazy good. This makes up for the doll recipe that was lacking flavor. Now to Annie. Annie's writing down her review. She's taking it very seriously tonight.
Peanutty. Creamy. Good with the sweet potato. Needs raisins. Not that many raisins.
It's not quite the same as when
Calm down.
they cook them because they get so soft and
I shouldn't have put rice in
first.
here. It adds sweet. The raisins add sweet. Okay, we're done now.
So we all liked it. In fact, I'm putting this probably in my recipe book. It's good. It's a goodie.
Add raisins.
Thank you for joining us for this compilation. If there are any other kinds of compilation videos you would like, let us know in the comments down below, especially if you want a part 2 to this video, because I might just have a few more things up my sleeve that I can fire over to you fine folk. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do so down below and hit that like button to let YouTube know to send us to other people. And YouTube also thinks you want to watch this video next. They've checked out all the things you've watched, they know your algorithm preferences and whatnot, and they said this is the one for you. Check it out and see if they're wrong.